Recording 10. I need to find the newspaper. That's what this recording is for. I'm documenting where I am and what I'm doing before I start, because the last 2 times I came here I lost track of the thread partway through, and I don't want that to happen again. The Project Chronos journal, 4th entry, 2nd paragraph, references a published account that it describes as the only external record of the event that remained in circulation before the correction occurred. It does not name the publication. It does not give a date, but it gives a location: the reading room, back wall, between the municipal directories of 1919 and 1927. That is a precise enough description that I believe the item is still there. The journal was written by someone who expected another investigator to follow these references. The item should be where they left it. The reading room is on the 2nd floor through the restricted access corridor. I've been through twice before. The back wall has a run of reference volumes organized by year. The municipal directories were where they should be on my last visit. I'm going back to check between them. It was there. A newspaper, folded twice into quarters, tucked spine first between the 1919 and 1927 directories. No other papers around it, left specifically. The fold lines are deliberate. Whoever placed it folded it to a particular page before inserting it, so the relevant article would be facing outward when opened. I've brought it back to the desk. I'm going to document what it says before I do anything else. The paper is the city's morning daily. The date is July 14th, 1923. The article is on page 3, a single column, 6 paragraphs. The headline reads, "Fire at Records Building on Marginal Road. Arson suspected. Witness sought." I'm going to read this carefully. The first 2 paragraphs describe the fire itself. Origin on the upper floor, contained before reaching the lower levels. Significant damage to materials stored in the upper rooms. The fire department's assessment is that the fire was deliberately set. No structural damage to the building. 3rd paragraph. The fire occurred in the early morning hours of July 12, 1923, 2 days before this article was printed. 4th paragraph. This is the one I need to document precisely. Authorities are seeking information regarding an individual observed at the premises in the hours preceding the fire. A witness described the individual as of average height, carrying what was described as a recording device of an unfamiliar type. It goes on. The individual was observed entering the building through the ground floor entrance and departing approximately 40 minutes later. Authorities have not determined whether this individual is connected to the fire or was present for unrelated purposes. Anyone with information is requested to contact. That's where the article becomes administrative. But that's not what matters. Recording device of an unfamiliar type. I've been sitting with that phrase for the past 20 minutes. I want to be precise about what the 1905 typewritten document said and what this article says, because they partially corroborate each other and partially diverge, and I need to understand where they disagree. The 1905 document said the fire occurred in July 1923. Confirmed. The 1905 document said materials were removed deliberately before the fire reached the lower floors. The article says significant damage to upper floors, no damage to lower levels, consistent with a deliberate prior removal of lower floor materials. The 1905 document identified M.O. Khan as responsible for organizing the removal. The article does not name O'Connor. The article mentions an unidentified individual with a recording device. I carry a recording device. I have carried one into this building repeatedly. If someone was in this building with a device that witnesses described as unfamiliar in 1923, and the description matches my equipment closely enough, I'm not going to complete that sentence yet. I want to look at the article again. 5th paragraph. I missed something on the first read. A second individual was also reported at the premises that evening. This person was not observed entering or departing and is known only from a brief notation in the incident report filed by the attending officer. The notation reads only, initials HTM, present at scene, statement not obtained. HTM, Hannah T. Morrison. I read that 3 times before I wrote it down. The notation reads only, initials HTM, present at scene, statement not obtained. That is all. No description, no further reference. The article moves on in the following sentence. I'm not sure I was prepared for that. I've been finding evidence of her throughout this building, in the ledger, in marginal notes, in the typewriter room. But this is different. This is a newspaper, a public record. July 1923. Her initials at the same location on the same night as the fire that the 1905 document says was anticipated 18 years in advance. I need to document something else that happened when I brought the newspaper to this desk. The reading room catalog is kept in a small wooden box near the entrance. Catalog cards, 1 per item, organized alphabetically and by date. I walked past it on the way to the desk. I didn't look at it. I had the newspaper and I was focused on getting to the lamp. When I sat down and unfolded the newspaper, there was a catalog card already on the desk. Not under the newspaper, beside it, as if it had been placed there for me to find. I didn't put it there. I would remember placing a card on the desk. I didn't. The card is in my own handwriting. I recognized it immediately. The way I formed the letter R, the slight lean of the capitals. It's unmistakably mine. But I have no memory of writing it. I have no memory of this card at all. The text on the card reads, Newspaper, City Daily, July 14, 1923. Filed between Dyer 1919 and 1927, second floor reading room. See also HTM initials, para 5. This is the one. I wrote those words. I cataloged this item. The card is in the reading room's standard format, the same format used for every other item in this collection. This is not a note I left for myself casually. This is a formal catalog entry. I processed this item according to the archive's own system. I have no memory of doing it. At the bottom of the card, below the main entry, there are 2 initials written smaller. Not mine. A different hand entirely, tighter, more controlled. The letters are HM. She saw this card, or she wrote those initials here herself in response to what I wrote. I've been trying to work through the chronology and it isn't cooperating. The catalog card in my handwriting exists, which means at some point I was in this reading room and I cataloged this newspaper. But I have no memory of that visit, which means either I have visited this building more times than I remember, which is consistent with what the archive does, with what the gramophone was telling me to remember, or the card was written by a version of me that doesn't correspond to any continuous memory I can access. Neither of those possibilities is comfortable. Both of them are consistent with what I've been finding since recording one. I keep coming back to the initials at the bottom, HM added after my entry. She saw the card I wrote. She was here, in this room after I wrote it, and she put her initials on it. That is an act of acknowledgement. That is communication. She knows about the newspaper. She knows about paragraph 5. She may know more than I've found tonight. I should stop recording soon. It's late, and I've been in this room for nearly 3 hours, and I need to think about what the catalog card means for the question the gramophone asked me to answer. Remember, I cataloged this newspaper. I processed it. I left a note that said, "This is the one," and I have no memory of doing it. Whatever I was supposed to remember, it may be connected to that missing visit, to what I found or what happened to me the last time I was in this room. I'm going to take the newspaper and the catalog card and